Hey everybody, Charlie Runner 2 here, and welcome back to Disco Elysium, the final cut. We last left off, we sang our song for karaoke, finally, and it was a roaring success. And then we came and we found this dice maker hidden behind behind the bookstore. So we're going to continue talking to her. She tossed us a pair of custom dice and we dropped one down below, so we'll see what else she has to say.
Oh, it's you again. Are you looking for a die?
What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Yeah, but did you know how it went down?
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus? And you never took your eyes off work to look out the window? Do you often work Sunday nights? Yeah, let's ask that.
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
So this isn't your home? What do you mean by daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try to come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
Yeah, but you see these people.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
Stop calling me sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
You never took your eyes off to work to look out the windows?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
It's light here, but dark in the yard at night.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Continue.
Anything else, officer?
Where are we anyway?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard this place is cursed. Do you know that the people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
She nods as the wind howls in from the furnace shaft above. Sorry for my cadence there. Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then? Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Plaisance is a wise woman. She has Simonese trinkets protecting her against the curse. Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later, everyone will fail, even her. I don't know why the bookstore hasn't gone bankrupt yet. That's why I'm here to investigate. That's a fair answer. I would say 2 or 4. Let's say 2.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the Whirling in Rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Hold on, the Whirling in Rags is part of the Doom commercial area? Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there. No, the Whirling in Rags isn't doing well either. Its waitress just took off and customers are having trouble paying bills. That's us, we're customers. You're right, the Whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed. We'll say you're right.
And then there is me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
It's because there's no malicious energies.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it, a malignant entity. It's because you're competent and dedicated to your craft. The curse doesn't affect people like you. The curse will get to you. Have no doubt about it. It just doesn't care about the earthly time frames. I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask, what do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
She leans forward in her chair to study your face. I think it still might be you that's causing this. Narrow your eyes very mysteriously. I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations. Honestly, I'm still not sure. This world is a puzzling place. I'm going to say, too, I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring.
She pinches the root of her nose.
But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
Shivers, 28. Why hasn't her business failed? Let's see if we can boost Shivers. All right, what do we got in close? So we got nothing boosting Shivers right now. So that. Anything else? I think we have a few things for Shivers. There we go. That's a +2 already, which should be very helpful. +2 drama, empathy, interfacing. Whoop. So we're +3 Shivers. Alright, this should be pretty good, actually.
Oh, it's you again.
72.
Are you looking for a die?
Why hasn't her business failed? Go. And
A gust
pass.
of cold air sweeps through the chimney. The stones and minerals on the shelves rattle as though agitated. For a moment, it almost feels as though you're outside the building, exposed to the atmosphere.
Hey, Neha, the curse is real, and I figured out why it spared you. This is still just a theory, but hear me out. I think I know why your business hasn't failed.
Didn't we already talk about this?
Yeah, we did, so I find it odd that this check is causing me to go back on what I said. She asks as the wind continues to seep in through the cracks in the old chimney. It's because you're not in the same building as the others. This isn't technically the Doom commercial area.
What are you talking about? My address is exactly the same. Rue de Saint-Guilain 10.
St. Ghislain? Wow, I was going to say Ghislaine.
No, the old coal plant that used to be here was subsumed into the new venture. Its ruins swallowed up. Yet it has a different address in the heart of the city.
No, this used to be a coal plant. Touch the safety curtains. You're in a chimney of another building.
This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. She looks around the makeshift nest that she's carved out for herself, bewildered.
Are you saying my business was spared because of a technicality? Where is this coming from?
This has come from my crazy head. Let's say I have my own methods, unusual methods. It has a different address in the heart of the city. I'm just using logic. It's windy in here. You probably haven't properly sealed the chimney crown point above. Let's go. It has a different address in the heart of the city.
And what? Does it mean that I'm safe from failure?
No one's ever really safe from failure. What?
Do you know what this is?
She raises her hand to reveal a piece of metal shining on her index finger. A lucky charm, as Simone's wore. Looks like a regular piece of jewelry to me. I don't care what it is, only came to tell you about why you haven't failed yet. A lucky charm, as Simone's wore?
It's a mourning ring. I made this when my first company failed. It was a small jewelry shop right here in the East Delta Commerce Center, built with the little I inherited from my parents. I drove it into the ground within a year. I didn't have what you would call a viable business plan.
See, the curse is real. I bet you didn't run this little jewelry shop from the protective depth of the chimney. Why are you telling me this?
It wasn't just the jewelry shop either. I always thought that it was just the world that you were supposed to try again and again until you finally succeed. And now you're telling me what? That it was all because I didn't run my little shops and ventures from a dump inside an abandoned chimney?
Yes, coincidence is all that safeguards us. Don't call it a dump. You've made it nice and cozy in here.
Yeah. Or maybe it's the entire world that's cursed. It's such a precarious place. Nothing ever works out the way you want it.
She stares out of the window, not really hearing your words.
That's why people like role-playing games. You can be whoever you want to be, you can try again. Still, there is something inherently violent even about dice rolls.
That is 100% true.
It's like every time you cast a die, something disappears. Some alternative ending or an entirely different world.
She picks up a pair of dice from the table and examines them under the light.
But anyway, thanks for sharing your theories, officer.
Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Exactly, Logic.
Rats scuttle in the dark rooms, under the abandoned blow dryers and dusty mannequins. Cobwebs cover rotors and radio computers alike. So much failure.
There is a lot here, so we're just going to start at the top. There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
Sounds reasonable. Not reasonable that they don't like those haircuts and they're scared of it, but reasonable that this business would fail in a society that feels this way.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
This is true. You could be a trendsetter.
It's not about the haircut. It's about the confidence.
What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should be more open-minded. Yes, they should. I would never let anyone androgynous touch my hair, not even if my life depended on it. Guess I'm a simple man. I don't really have any opinions on hairstyles. We're going to say, yeah, they should be a little more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of her hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
That sounds good. Who is Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
That's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's sort of the king around here. He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to file dead bodies. I don't like any of these answers. Why can't I just say he's the kid that hangs out in the yard? Let's say he's the little ginger gremlin.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out of the window, her face reflecting back in the dark.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
How did the community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
Oh.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Well, duh, Logic.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
Right.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
Snuff milias. Something to do with killing? Killing videos? Killing radios?
What's the snuff milieu?
Yes, what is one?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Alright, tell me about a snuff milieu.
It's a Sub Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders
Ah.
with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Okay, I was right then. Creepy.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Yeah, I agree, drama.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Okay, it seems like everything's our problem, though.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
She seems to know a lot about that, too. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw a mount sliding around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
Yeah, like the whole town.
Anything else?
Creepy mannequins?
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists. Is this PETA in this world? Not that PETA's a bad thing, I'm just trying to find an analog around here. Insect rights activists. What in the name of... I didn't know insects had any rights. Are activists.
Yeah, the atelier didn't know it either. They produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
But insects don't have any brains or feelings. I'm glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects. They got what they deserve. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. I personally don't care, and I also don't think my character would actually care. But I think this is a bad way of saying it. I would think he would say something like, I'm glad that's not something I have to think about, but all right. I do agree making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea just because that grosses me out, so we're going to say that.
At least it had some spark to it. Most young designers just combine lace with leather and call it original.
She shifts in her simple workwear shirt.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
Lieutenant is stern, so this must hit him at home for some reason.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
And that was a success? Thanks, interfacing. I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up in her face. Or
They
lights
were
up
an
her face.
interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wiro.
Fisticuffs.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
Heard they had some kind of accident with the backup copy, right?
An accident? I wouldn't know anything about that. I just heard they ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seem to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
From what I've seen so far, the project did look quite impressive. Really? They must have been on a gigantic ego trip. No, I think it was impressive.
Yes, but when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep out new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
That's too bad. I would have supported them. The project looked great.
Not the wisest decision. You would have lost all your savings.
I wouldn't have given them all my savings. I said supported them. She tosses a pair of dice on the table. One of them stops near the edge of the metallic desk.
The result is 1 on a 20-sided die.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Okay. So, Nina, or Niha, tell me about the other idea.
Indeed, what were the other ideas?
Alright, what were the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving.
Fritta does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Fritta as a cashier and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT.
Okay.
And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
Nods solemnly. It's the market doing its job. I'm sure the bear was doing its best. The bear was scary. Every time I saw the bear, I felt scared, like it could become alive any moment now. I killed the bear. I mean, we did, but it's the market doing its job.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made the bear definitely wasn't. Doing his job, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherion.
Megatherion.
Sounds cool.
It does.
Why is everyone doing drugs in this place? Even the taxidermist?
Megatherion?
Megatherion. A mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
I don't have a comment on drugs.
Understandable. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story.
The temperature has dropped in the cover of the night. You see frost on the windows.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps?
We need to make it to
I've been
2100.
here for a long time.
I found the building's intercom, but it's not working?
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me.
I did.
I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
Alright, so you're telling me about the doorbell with empty name card. is yours. I was wondering about the whirling in rags. Is it part of the same complex? Saw a name East Delta Pinball on the doorbell. Strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstring SCA. Someone answered, yes, they did.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
First, it wasn't Plaisance. I know her, and I would have recognized her voice.
Oh, right. But did this person say anything?
She still sounds skeptical. She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
No.
It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or...
Or what?
Whatever happened, keep your cool. It's probably better to admit that it was a harmless prank.
Yeah, you're right. I probably just got made fun of.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
Tell me about East Delta Pinball.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, floriography, trick track, especially pinball.
Okay. I really want to know what trick track is.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
What does everybody have against pinball? I mean, it looks like you have a pinball pokeball on your shirt here. I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
Apparently, I don't. Other questions?
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit.
I think
What
that's
else?
it. All right. Hit tab. Nothing else in here. And we gotta go. So we need to make it to tomorrow. My hopes are that tomorrow the ice will have finished. Oops. Kim wants to talk. What's up, Kim? Can I not talk because it's dark? Guess because it's dark. Let's throw on our light. Talk to Kim. Whoa, 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 whoa. I just phased out of reality. Hold on. Let's talk to him here.
Yes?
Okay, I guess he doesn't want to talk. I swear it just looked like he wanted to talk. All right, so we need to go back to... Well, I guess the bookstore? It must have been the taxidermy. Yeah, here too. Here was the gym. Let's get rid of the flashlight. Get out of here. All right. Let's talk to the bookstore lady. Report back that we have found nothing crazy. Just some lady building RPG dice in a chimney. Nothing crazy at all. She here? Yeah, she's still awake. Hey, Plaisance.
What have you found?
I talked
And
to the...
also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
Don't interrupt me again, Plaisance. I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She looks perplexed.
The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down. She's squeezing on the pendant too tight. A drop of blood in her palm.
Jesus. Okay.
To hell with it. Perchance you ought to just lie, sire.
The source is in the taxidermist shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place. She says there is no curse, because there are too many inconsistencies. Honestly, I don't have an answer yet. There still leads to be followed like the strange radio computer thing. There's another entity more malignant pulling the strings in Martinez. Perhaps in my travels I will cross paths with it. She says there is no curse because there are too many inconsistencies. She's not going to believe me on that.
Too many inconsistencies? What kind of talk is that?
The woman scoffs at you with an audible snort.
Good luck persuading her. Some people can rationalize anything.
Exactly, and we're going to try to rationalize with her next episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.